Have you guys seen Challengers? It's about Super Smash Brothers. No, it isn't. Well, it kind of is. So this movie is starring Zendaya and other people that we don't know and probably never will. I think one guy was in something else, but I don't remember. And it's directed by Luca Guadagnino. Luca Guadagnino. And he also directed the gay movie with Timothée Chalamet. And I had no idea what this movie was about, but I was happily surprised that it was about tennis. I like tennis-related movies, but this one in particular took a dark turn. Okay, so first off, just talk about the actors to start here. I'm not really sure how people feel about Zendaya, and I'm not sure how I feel about Zendaya, and I'm not sure why she doesn't have a last name. She was legitimately funny in the Spider-Man movies, but I didn't particularly like the Spider-Man movies, the new ones with what's-his-dude. But she has some personality, but her personality is like a void of a personality. How do I explain this? But she's also really funny, so I'm not sure. Anyway, this one, she plays a former tennis pro. She was very highly ranked, very competitive, really motivated to win at tennis. But the problem was her bones were brittle or something, so she got an injury that prevented her from being able to play tennis anymore. So, in lieu of playing herself, she gets romantically involved with some other prospects, some tennis prospects, and they happen to be friends and ultimately rivals in the bedroom and on the tennis court. Now this movie, it doesn't feel right, and one of the main reasons about that is that it mixes up archetypes and what they mean when it comes to the motivations for characters. So the real story isn't about Zendaya. It's not really about her. She's just a vector for the relationship between the two males. And this is where it comes in again, where I feel like her as an actress, there's some kind of a void of a personality, and that's what she plays. So in this, it's fine. So she has to play, the kind of sultry, seductive, and often very manipulative love interest of both of these male characters, played by Mike Faist and Josh O'Connor. I don't know much of their work. But she will play them off of each other, and she's trying to, in doing that, motivate both of them to be better. And she marries one of them, but dates both of them at various times, and then even after she's married, goes and cavorts with the other one. And so it's this whole back and forth thing. But again, the point is not actually her and her character. You don't get much about her motivations. We know that she was a tennis pro, very motivated, and she got injured. So that's the basis for her character. But we don't know why she cares so much about tennis, why it would be her inclination to live vicariously through one of these men, and why she really takes a backseat in most of the interactions. So again, most of the time, she's supposed to be some kind of a substrate through which these two men are navigating their relationship with each other, and the way that tennis is another mediator of their relationship with each other. Even though she's married to one and they have a kid, and there's this kind of pretend thing that this is a love triangle and that's the big question, it's really not that. And so it makes the whole thing feel wonky. When they initially meet, it's like they are at, I believe, they go to a tennis match, and they're all playing, and they just have a chance encounter, and end up on a beach, all three of them, and then end up back at a hotel room where there's a lot of, I really don't want to say the phrase hanky-panky. Why the hell did that come into my head? That description of sexual activity is officially retired. We can never use that again. I'm trying, it's some kind of euphemistic description for shoving tongues in mouths and doing a lot of aggressive touching. I'm not sure what a better phraseology for that is. But anyway, so they end up in a hotel room, and she's kissing each of them, and then she kind of bows out, and the two guys are kissing each other. And that is a metaphor for the entire movie, really. There would have been something interesting to explore related to the insecurities about men who are giving themselves to competition in such a no holds bar kind of way. And maybe what having a woman in the background, what that might do to that. But I really don't think that that's an interest of the movie or the characters. I really think everything that happens is a mediator of the relationship between the two men. And there's just not enough to that relationship to be interesting. Like what their personalities mean, what they mean to each other, what it means philosophically, intellectually, archetypally, emotionally. It just, there wasn't enough of any of that. What I really think is the director wanted to tell a gay story and wanted to do it through the medium of tennis and that level of competition, and wanted to be able to do a bunch of really creative tennis shots. There's a whole bunch of that. Just really unique looking shots related to tennis. And I don't begrudge the director the instinct or effort to do any of those things. That's totally fine if that's what they want to do. It's not especially my cup of tea. I much enjoyed the Borg v. McEnroe movie. That was enjoyable, but you got to see Shia LaBeouf, who's actually a fantastic actor, and you had two competing professionals who had two very different philosophies about the way that tennis is supposed to be played and what should be of interest to a tennis player and how you win at tennis. You've got McEnroe, who is the wild card, who is the freestyle. He's the crazy guy who's going onto the tennis court and letting his emotions drive what he does and doesn't do when it comes to tennis. And then you've got Borg, who's aptly named, and he's the one who is very powerfully emotionally repressed, and he uses that as a means to drive himself mechanically to excel at the sport. But when it comes to these two guys in this movie and Challengers, there doesn't seem to be all that much different between them. One of them's a little more outgoing, and one of them, ended up marrying Zendaya and having a kid with her. Is more reserved, but it's really a pretty muted distance personality-wise. It doesn't really stand out much. And all through the movie, there's this nagging sense of, who cares? What does it matter? Like, I don't care. She's banging both of them, and they're gonna end up banging each other. Who cares what else is going on? There's very little concern or interest in the kid or family dynamics. It's just who's sleeping with who at any given time, and what is the eventual resolution when it comes to the two male characters. And it does end up being too mechanical. Like in the Borg vs. McEnroe movie, it wasn't mechanical about, okay, who wins and who doesn't win. It's like, yeah, that's fine, and that's part of the drama that goes into the final match and all that kind of setup. But ultimately, it was more about the characters themselves and how they are functioning within this medium of tennis. Because ultimately, McEnroe had a very different, when his career went forward and Borg's career went forward after the movie, the events depicted in the movie, a lot of things happen mechanically that are significant, but emotionally and intellectually, what it means for the characters, it meant a whole lot more at this one point in their competition between each other. It meant a whole lot more, and all that's built up all the way through. And again, it's just great. Shia LaBeouf has so much character, and he's an intriguing person just in general, but McEnroe himself is a really intriguing guy. So there's a lot that you get to work with on that. Whereas in Challengers, it's just like, there's not enough to sink your teeth into or to care about. There should have been more to Zendaya's character, and she should have been more pivotal. There should have been more archetypally interesting aspects when it comes to family and children and what it means to be a woman in this kind of a situation where she is mediating between two men vying for her affections, or, trying to accomplish something with her, as well as accomplish something like gladiatorial on the tennis court. And there was none of that. It was really just, what it felt like was, there are a couple guys repressing their interests in each other, and they're just running that through a rather empty Zendaya, and that's how they're getting to the end of this movie. That's what it felt like to me. I don't know how other people felt about the movie. I don't know how well it did or how much interest people had in it. The ultimate verdict is I want to see more Zendaya, even though there's something off about the way that she acts. It's like, you watch Cate Blanchett and you watch her act in a movie, and it's so vibrant and there's so much to her, whatever kind of character she's playing. And when she really gets into a character, it's incredible. It's artwork. It's amazing. And then, like I said, Zendaya, she really embodies the things that she needs to embody. She can play emotions like she needs to. and she has her own void type charisma. I don't know how to explain it, but I really enjoy watching her work. But she also is not especially dynamic or interesting when it comes to the charisma. It's so strange. And she seems delightful when she's doing like interviews and that kind of thing. And Tom Holland and her seem great. So I'll watch a whole bunch of stuff with her in it, but there's something weird going on with her as a performer. Anyway, I want to know what other people think about Zendaya. I don't know where other people are, and what other people think about Challengers. If they think that there's something more to this movie, there's something more interesting going on that I'm missing related to it, or if they just enjoyed it, they enjoyed the atmospherics, they enjoyed the way that the three characters played off of each other. I don't see it. I think it's mostly a hollow thing pretending to be more than it is, and not even achieving what it secretly is trying to achieve. That's where I see it. Anyway, I had a whole bunch of issues. I don't know, I put out one vaguely political thing, and then they put me in some kind of jail. So they said I had to do a bunch of extra stuff to be able to do more videos or something, so I just left it. And I left it for a while. It's been months, I don't know. But I watched this movie, and I wanted to talk about it, and nobody within my immediate circle had seen it or wanted to talk about it, so I'm throwing it on the internet to you guys, because you guys, if nothing else, at least it's interesting, notwithstanding how completely oblivious or self-serving or whatever else you guys are when you make comments. Anyway, that's Challengers, starring Zendaya and Luca somebody, not that fat one from Los Angeles now. It's some other Luca. Let me know if you saw it. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.